Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Hello and welcome to the Live Free and Pant.
Awesome. I love it.
I think you should leave this all in.
Red Green always used to say, if the women don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. And without a doubt, he checks all those boxes. We get to chat with Kevin, K0KLB of Ham Radio QRP. So get those combines tuned up and radio's warm.
I'm going to kill it for drummer, didn't you guys with that?
Yeah,
dumber,
that was
drummer.
Dumber. We're dumber.
Everyone here is now dumber for having listened to it. I went where Jason was not blowing me out at.
Right.
Did Jason ever turn down his QRO?
There were a couple of parts where everywhere I went, there was rah 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 rah. So.
Oh, there we go.
And don't forget the Izzo t-shirt.
Yes,
My
that
favorite.
is. Paul mentioned in the chat, if you haven't gone up, he's got a little boy crush, you know.
You know, I gathered that much from listening to the podcast.
Gentlemen, we are live.
Sadly, we are finally live.
Yes. Todd, you're live. You're live.
You might be loud. We can't hear you.
I know.
Let's see if you can guess which one of our hosts likes a big heaping spoon of Elmer's glue with his coffee in the morning. I know it's not me.
It's nice to meet you. I've been trying to work you for like a year. A well-oiled machine. Like the first park, once we got it set up and stuff, we didn't even have to talk. We'd pull in, I'd set up the antenna, he'd get the radios and the video equipment going. We basically finished around the same time. For all you hams out there that do POTA, do you really know what the K means for each park you activate or hunt in the U.S.? Kilo. Nope, just kidding.
As this is our Christmas gear episode, I've been waiting for this one for a long time. Oh, and you know, it's our 100 subscriber show, so you know what that means. You get presents. You get presents. How do you spell Baofeng?
And now for something a little extra with Todd, W1STJ.
Are we ready?
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Hopefully, that little bumper there was something that we all could appreciate. That is some of my favorite episodes that kind of put there together for our 1-year anniversary. And obviously we've got some great folks here on that you might recognize. Here to help celebrate that with us, and and there's a lot in the chat too as well. Appreciate everybody joining in. But like I said, this is our 1-year anniversary, and we're glad we're here, and we're happy that you guys can share with us. We're 1 year old. That's crazy. Anyway, well. So, as in usual fashion, kind of just check it in. How are you guys doing tonight? How are my ham radio brothers? Obviously, Todd, Paul, and Ryan. How are you guys doing? And we'll toss it over to Carlos and Mike in a second.
Doing good.
Yeah. Hello.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Really cannot believe it's been a year. It doesn't seem like that year went pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, that was literally, we'll get into the details, but that was like time frame last, field day when we were like, kind of, hey, let's launch our first episode. Insane. So, Mike and Carlos, guys, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you guys coming on and hanging out with us, and feel free to, crack open a cold one and hang out and, make fun of us.
Well, that's how about this? It is pasta night in my house, so it won't be a cold one. So it'll be a room temperature one, fellas. Congratulations on a year.
Appreciate it. I raise a glass.
Cheers.
Cheers, definitely. All right, cool. Well, so just in our usual fashion here, we're gonna do a little bit of catching you guys up as our listeners before we kind of just dive into some of the backstory of who we are and sharing some of our favorite episodes is here as well. As always, I always like to talk about our storefront, and we are always working to add items to the shop. So if you haven't headed over yet to livefreeandham.com /shop. Starting tomorrow, we're going to be doing a new tea drop. That's one of my favorite shirts that we created in Paul's honor. We've got 2 new shirts that are going to be dropping tomorrow. First one's called Ham Radio Found Me. It's inspired by Todd's W1STJ's love of ham radio, and that'll be released. And my favorite one that I'm kind of playing off an internet meme around the Only Hams thing that we all proudly wear, and stickers, is Send QSLs. So that'll be coming out soon. As always, you can get beer mugs and a ton of other stuff there in the shop. So, if you get a moment, head on over there, check us out. And we thank everybody who's bought from us in the past. We appreciate the support. Always enjoy seeing our shirts out there in the wild. So the other things we've got is a couple of other cool announcements. We all are great fans of the Ham Radio Clubhouse. All of us have been on it. All of us, religiously, hang out there in the chats every Tuesday nights. We always appreciate Izzo, who obviously couldn't make it tonight. He said he's got another event, but is here in spirit. He's always talking about us when he talks about Live Free and Ham, as referring to us as the guys up north. And bottom line is, we obviously inspire, we're so inspired by that. We created the shirt that, you've seen in previous episodes, but we always struggled that when anybody ever asked, or whenever Izzo brought up the fact that, that we were Live Free and Ham, I'm sure it was very, a struggle for a lot of people to want to try to do a search for us because they couldn't find us. So what did we do? Well, we stepped in the gap. And I did, what any IT related person would do. And I went out and bought the latest domain that now points to Live Free and Ham, and it's called thoseguysupnorth.com. So you can now go there and you can visit us from either URL, no matter what. So, you will find us come hell or high water.
I thought I was the only one that bought silly domains.
No, well, it pays, to help, promote. And that's one way of doing it, especially if we're always going to be those guys up north. That's just going to be the way it is, So, all right. So with that, you can always find us there, that or livefreeandham.com. And then we've got some other great things. As we all know, we are in June. And what is June for all of us hams? It's Field Day. So, this Field Day is coming up. And I know we're in full force with our club, and I'm sure you guys are as well in some form or fashion. With that, Paul and I and Todd and anybody else for that matter, we'll be running a bunch of live streams right from Field Day. So feel free to join us on Fridays and Saturdays and come participate and hang out. We'd love to have you there. And we'll always, at least on Friday, Paul and I will be playing radio, sharing a good whiskey, a steak, and hanging out with you guys. So, all good there. So we're looking forward to that. And then we've got a fallback. Mark is coming back from Halibut Electronics. He's got a lot to kind of talk about with Satnogs and Hamvention and a whole bunch of other things. So he's graciously decided to come back on for another show, and we're working out those details. And so you want to stay tuned for that to both our YouTube channels and our podcast stream. So, and then lastly, as everybody always remembers, we started a great segment called Do Good. And
doing good. Good. Doing good.
You do. That's good.
Do good. Do good.
You're doing good.
Good.
Absolutely, I do. Good. Good.
Doing good, Bob. Doing real good.
And right now, my only outlet is my ham radio.
And that is true. Well, so with our Do Good segment, as always, we want to showcase the good in the things that folks are doing in ham radio clubs. So if you got a great ham radio club and they're doing awesome activities, well, guess what? We want to hear about it, and more so, we want to share it with others. So they know that there are clubs out there that just aren't sitting around and having coffee every morning and talking about the good old days. There's stuff happening. There's great things going on, and we want to showcase that. So, please,
Carlos, don't choke.
I know, well, this is going to be one of those episodes that food might be on screens later. So we'll see how that one goes.
We cannot help the Heimlich here.
There's something about coffee and ham radio. I'm just saying.
True. Okay. Yeah, I see your point there. I do. All right. So anyway, with that, we want to hear about the good in your ham radio club. So make sure you send it in to us, and we'll showcase it on our next episode. And so with that, let's kind of dive into some of our things I want to talk about in terms of our show. So I'm going to hit you up with some knowledge here. And let me know if I go a little crazy here, guys. But just some live free and ham nuggets of truth here. As I said, our very first show dropped on June 5th. That was the 20 words with a nail and 20 words per minute with a nail and a hacksaw. If anybody has downloaded that episode, that was a great episode. Ryan had talked about his father and how he would bang out CW with literally exactly that, a nail and a hacksaw blade. So all good there. And that was our first episode, which happens to be obviously this night too as well. We got about 40 episodes in the back catalog. So if you you have time, unlike the ham radio workbench, to catch up. So feel free to dive in there. And we're nearing about 4,000 downloads. So again, I want to thank everybody here, obviously, and in the chat. We appreciate everybody who's downloaded it. And we're listened to literally around the world except China. And I think that's probably because our we can't spell Baofeng. That was one of I think episode 19. So that explains why they just aren't listening in China. So so again, I want to thank all of you guys, Ryan, Paul, Todd. You guys have done an amazing job putting together awesome episodes, keeping people on their toes, and just having fun. It's been a blast.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
Pat yourselves on the back. Come on, let's go. Anyway. All right. So, obviously with that, we wanted to celebrate with a bunch of other people, Mike and Carlos, and we sent out a bunch to everybody else, and other ham radio content creators to come join us and hang out. So you may see a few folks pop in here from time to time that either have been on past shows or, we send in an invite. So, feel free to join in there in the chat. And, so with that, let's, kind of start talking about, a little bit of the past. You guys want to dive into some of that a little bit?
No.
You don't want to do a therapy session? Come on. That's what I want to talk about the future. Well, we can get to the future. Anyway, so
I thought we were going to play a little extra.
No.
I
don't think Todd's even ready for that.
No.
Come on, man.
Well,
I'm waiting for the new test to come out.
Paul did point it out. Yeah, 1st of July, right?
1st of July.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So
nobody knows what
all
Todd's
over
talking
again.
about. Todd has still been studying for his test, even though the whole ham radio push of everybody get their extra before April has come and gone.
Yeah. So I have a to-do list, right, every day of all the things I try to get done. I never get it completed, and that is the first thing that pops up: study for your extra.
Keep getting bunched down the list. That's a bummer. We're more than happy to do, a surprise, something extra.
My to-do list every day has this in it. So study for your extra. I'm studying CW, all right?
Right.
That's my paperweight. That holds down my papers of my to-do list. All good.
We got to exercise the brain.
Yeah, I got plenty. You see all the projects you can't see on screen behind me that I have to get done. That's exercising my brain. Oh man, it's funny actually. Even Paul and I. He's already preparing question.
Don't do this.
Yes.
He doesn't want to lose his good record. He's been doing 2 for 3 for the past 3 or 4 episodes.
Had a couple 3 for 3s.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. And then
And that's the new question pool. So I'm already ready for you, Todd.
Oh, you've already got them. Can you send them my way, or do I have to wait?
It's on Ham Study.
Oh, it is new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were updated.
The thing is, if you hurry,
maybe I've been studying the new questions. Who knows?
If you hurry, you can get it in under the before the change, and then what less stuff to study.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm not even close. I can't get through the. What is it? Is 5 the math one? Like I'm just
So
Five's got a lot of math because it's
Yeah.
Q and yeah.
like
Case-
that one. I skipped right over.
KC1QDK has the correct strategy here. If you do not know the answer,
It's true.
it is always the one with the longest, most elaborate thing it says.
Yeah, sometimes you just wordsmith it and you just kind of figure it out.
I'm not saying that's always the answer. I'm just saying when you don't know the answer, that's it.
Well, I had to take a test. I found out I had to take a test by today to coach baseball. I've been coaching baseball for 10 years. Oh, you need to take a test. They charged me $20 to get an ebook that I couldn't get access to. So I just took the test and I got a 93. I'm like, I wish the extra was that easy. Like just whip through it, 30 questions, be done. I know the extra is 50, but
it is. It is that easy. The problem is that you've had the experience of coaching baseball for 10 years, right? And the thing about the extra test, it's just like the general, where a lot of the stuff in there's theory and you don't really play with it until you really have to play with it. And once you start playing with it, then it makes sense. Until then, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Right. No, I've definitely, I agree with you on that because I understand a lot more than I did when I took my general and my technician. Like I'm like, oh, I know exactly. I don't have to, like, I already know that question just from the experience, of doing ham radio. So I got the whole base. I had my radio in the car on, and I forgot, and I left it on. And everyone that walked by my car today at baseball, like, what is that? Are you like the police or something? I'm like, no, it's ham radio. So I showed all the kids about ham radio and all the coaches, just spreading the word. You guys should get into it. It's really fun.
So you're going to basically be having your whole entire team take testing for their technician?
Yeah. They'll be out in the outfield on their HTs. Catch that ball.
7-3. No, code.
Go deep. It's going deep. Back.
So Todd, I got to share this with you. Don't feel bad about not having your extra because you'll get a kick out of this story. So when we're driving out to Hamvention, I'm driving out with two of my friends, Michael and Fred. Michael, W2 MVP, and I have gone out for this was our third year out there, right? And it was Fred's first year. But we're on the car ride out, and Michael says to me, I think I'm going to stop by. I got to stop by the ARL booth. And I mentioned I wanted to go there because I knew Marvin would be there, and so would the good game and stuff. And he goes, when I stop by the booth, I should probably renew my dues because I'm not a member anymore. I was like, oh, you're not a member? I assumed that he was. He goes there to renew his dues, and his picture is the one on the cover of the brand new extra book. And he's only a general.
On the extra book.
He goes, he renews and he buys the book. They gave him a free study guide because he's like, it's me on the book, right? And so he's like, great, now I gotta get my extra. He's like, I have no excuse now. It was just like the coincidence of that happening. It was like
I was hanging out not that far when that happened. Now I understand the commotion because there's a lot of laughter around that.
Yeah, I couldn't quite figure that out in the video either, and now it makes total sense.
Yeah,
very cool. Awesome. All right. Well, let's kind of, swing this ship around. I've got a little thing here I'm going to throw out there for a few folks. I just kind of want to give you a little tidbits of, some of how we kind of got started as Live Free and Ham. You guys can stop me or throw in your 2 cents here and there along the way. Some of the stuff that, we kind of started with is that, Ryan, Todd, and Paul and myself, we're all part of like a local club. We were kind of all hanging around trying to figure out, well, what else could we do with our time? And, I think Todd and I had a bunch of conversations for a while. And in those conversations, he was like, oh, it would be really cool to do a YouTube channel and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, fine, whatever. And then, he kept kind of pushing a little harder. And you know how Todd is when, he throws a challenge down for me, I'll usually, grab it and run with it. And so, I was like, all right, well, maybe we should do a podcast because, I had started a podcast, with another bunch of guys, during COVID and stuff that was non-ham related. And so we all sat down over a beer and I think we all said yes, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. At least we haven't dragged you here. So
had no idea what we're getting into. I was like, this will be easy, right? This won't take much time.
Yeah.
Wait, so should I pull a Todd and be like, "Oh, Eric forced me to be here"?
You really want to say, right? So
Yeah, he's always doing that, you know, spending my money and forcing me to do things I don't want to do.
Well, I'm probably forcing you more, and Ryan's helping you spend your money now. So you know.
That's right.
Yeah, that's probably how it is now.
Right now. So a couple other things, obviously, so somewhere around May timeframe in 2023. Oh, we got another guy who just jumped in here. That's Frank.
Uh-oh.
Cool. Hey, Frank, how's it going? Welcome. To join. Cool. Hang out. So yeah, we started right around May timeframe. Had our first episode in June. That was always, if I go back and listen to it, you kind of cringe for your first video or your first episode. Everybody does it at one time or another. And that was Ryan, Todd, and me. Once that train wreck was kind of past us and we moved on, we then, kind of just kept plugging away and enjoying, recording and fooling around with a bunch of different things here. But, the one big thing that we kind of started with is that before we became Live Free and Ham, one of the things is that, and I want to throw out this little trivia, see if anybody can actually answer it. And if you can, and you happen to know it, and nobody here can answer if you happen to do it, it's employees, not employees are exempt, is that if you can put in the chat our original podcast name, then I will send you a 80-meter Mad Dog coil. First person.
Woo! Wow. Fender.
If you can't, then you have to wait to the very end of the podcast, and our end slides will tell you what it was.
So it's basically what we're doing is it was the first original name we were going to call the podcast, correct?
We got the logo and everything all set up. Even the domain, is still out there if you can figure that one out.
And then we changed it.
Yeah. Well, Ryan came up with a way better name, and we all agreed that
No, technically, my wife did.
Oh, that was
nice.
Now we know where their residual payments need to go.
Credit where credit is due.
Still paying.
So she gets what percentage of zero?
1.001% of zero.
Okay.
So yeah, we haven't hit it big yet. We're still working on it, and you can help us outside of after we finish raising money for Todd's wife's kitchen so he can build his antenna farm, and we can raise funds to build the next Arab Sheik's VHF UHF satellite repeater.
I know what the original name of the podcast was.
Ooh, you have to put it in the private chat there, my friend.
Oh, no.
Throw it in the private chat there, Carlos.
I know what it was.
We'll see.
I believe it was called Tank Radio. No, I'm just joking.
And to save all of your ears, I did not extend the invite to Tank, but you can thank me later, right?
Oh, poor Frank.
Yeah, I know. If he's in this chat, then maybe we'll say hello. But yes, either way. All right, cool. So, with that, we've got. I should actually kind of finish that train of thought there before I jump off of it. Is that we obviously brought Ryan. Ryan got really busy flying the friendly skies and doing a bunch of other things, and so we all kind of decided as a group that we needed to have a third. Musketeer there to kind of, balance things out because Todd and I, can get wordy and talky. So we brought Paul on in December of 2023, and, it's been a blast. He's been, keeping, us all sane and level and, throwing down some good wisdom there. But at the same time, he's always been a blast to hang out, and, he kind of balances us very well. So that kind of brings us all the way we're up to today. And with that, I kind of want to talk a little bit some of our, catalog there. So obviously we got some guests here that, have been on. But, with you guys in general, you obviously listen to the podcast, otherwise you wouldn't be here. You guys have any favorite episodes, Todd, Paul, or Ryan, that, you want to throw in the ring and maybe why, and, kind of talk a little bit about memory lane walking down memory lane?
But I did enjoy the, your 2-minute clip in the beginning there. That was well done there.
Yeah,
well done.
I forgot about some of those.
I did chuckle about the Christmas episode when we were going through picking out the various items that we'd recommend for the future year, and You know, still waiting on that Yesu 705 killer.
So much that I went out and bought another 891. So yeah, all good. It will happen soon enough, as it's always been predicting.
Yesu already has a 705. No, they don't.
No, they don't. Not yet. So they will in August, I assume. I should have waited till then.
You know, I asked them at the booth at Hamvention. I said, "So what are you going to make me buy at this show?" And they said, "Nothing at this show." So there's possibilities yet, right?
Sure. Yeah. We
the
can all hope.
The big tease.
Yeah, that's really all it is in my mind at this point, because I can't really it's vaporware at this point. It's it's if it looks like the 500 with HF, then I'm gonna be really sad. But that's all it is. So cool. All right. Well, anybody else have a couple of favorite episodes that they've remembered or recalled or enjoyed?
Well, so I guess I'll throw my my hat in the ring here, and I'll say of the episodes that I was a part of that we had guests on, my all-time favorite it's a three-way tie, right? So it's Carlos, Jeremy, and KOLB. All three were fantastic shows. I had a ton of fun. It was just a great interaction with our guests. But of the shows that we re-recorded with just us, my absolute favorite was the Mike Fright. I think we had a little bit of fun with it, and we touched on some really important things that hold people back, and hopefully, maybe somebody got something good out of it.
Yeah, definitely. I would say I know I did. That was one of my favorite ones too, as well.
I'd agree with you. That was a good one. I think it's because we all experienced it a little different too, and we all kind of had our own experiences and stories to talk about it, and some of them were pretty funny. I remember mine was pretty funny when I was calling CQ on 2 meters. So these guys dude, what are you doing?
How are you supposed to look? If you don't have the experience, how are you supposed to know anybody?
Well,
unless you have someone guiding you.
And that's what the test said, right? It says if you want to call stations, call CQ. I was just following the rules.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, and I found with the whole podcast and what we've been doing, I think in the beginning we were really nervous. I was really nervous. I didn't know how it was going to come out, what it was going to sound like. We got some feedback, and then now I find it to be very natural. I almost forget we're doing it. When we're we get into this zone and we just start talking about whatever the topic is or interviewing, and it just kind of happens. Yeah, very funny,
totally.
Tim. Yeah.
I'll let you know, Todd, when it becomes really real. Is when you finally sit down and you're you're only wearing a t-shirt and nothing below, and at that point you're getting way too comfortable with us. We have to decide differently.
Another drink.
Yeah.
You'll be wearing a banana hammock, right?
Not even that.
Okay.
Not even that.
Speedo.
All right. Well, anyway, now to bring it back on the rails.
Isn't that how we make our money, with only hams?
It is our side business for sure. So yeah, I think one of my favorite episodes, and let me know if my mic is annoying you guys at all. But my favorite episode would have been the one that we had Kevin K0KLB on. He's we all know Kevin is the guy who tunes up combines, and pretty much is, I would say, my hero. If in regards to Paul and Todd having a crush on Carlos, and sorry I keep bringing that up, but just too good not to. I'm like that with Kevin, and if Kevin was on, I'd probably be blushing as I'm saying this. But my bottom line is I look at Kevin going, he's got a G90, and he's just he looks at something in his vast field of corn and goes, I'm going to tune that one up and see if it works. You
have to admit the bandwidth of a silo has to be amazing.
Totally. Nevertheless, a shovel antenna. I was blown away. He was making contacts halfway around the world on a big, grain shovel.
Well, I thought the broken trampoline was pretty impressive.
That was
this guy made an antenna out of a trampoline. I'm like, that's just crazy. Didn't he say? I think he said he hit Boston, right? He was talking to someone in Mass. With it from Iowa or wherever he's at. Yeah.
Now, any of you guys check into his, QRP nets at all? Have anybody done that?
Yeah,
No,
I
check into
try
the
to do that
net
regularly.
only with your technicians calling on 10 meters, right? Early check-ins for the WildNet. Is that right, Mike?
No, actually, I'll say one good thing. One neat thing about the net, and I try to check in. It's a fun way to test out antennas, and it's one of the few nets you'll ever encounter that will actually QSY. So, if they start getting interference from a nearby station, they'll actually like change frequency live stream. I mean, that makes it easy, but I mean, they're great. I checked in over the weekend, and I was using the Reliance 9-to-1 with a 53-foot wire that Matt sent me, some of the new wire. And I had it sloping one direction, and Kevin was fine. I was like, I'm going to recheck in a few minutes. I'm going to go change the orientation in the backyard and recheck in. And I mean, it's fabulous that they do something like that. And they're not only are they willing to QSY, but you can recheck in with the antenna in different positions or try different things. It's a good way to learn.
Yeah, it's a great net. And the funny story is that every time I've checked into that net, I have never been able to get his South Carolina contact ever. Like he can't hear me, I can't hear him, but I have like a direct line of sight to Kevin the whole entire time, which is kind of funny because like if any POTA I do within New Hampshire or Mass, like North Carolina is like direct, I get like 9 or 10, North Carolina stations, no problem. So it's kind of just bizarre.
and just to plug the Reliance antennas. So I got in all the way, I dropped the power all the way down to 500 milliwatts. I was at 5% power on the 705 with that random wire and was able to get in from New York to Iowa. And it's great because you can actually go back and hear the audio and see the actual S meters on their end and see what it looked like and sounded like. So
nice.
Frank,
you checked into any of his nets?
Have I? No, I haven't, but I want to one day. My rigs don't go that low, unfortunately.
Well,
I mean, yeah, the 710 goes down to 5 watts, but from California, it's hard. I have yet to even hear them on the radio, let alone one day though.
All right.
Speaking of the devil,
hold on a sec. He's in full bloom there. His golden locks. Hey, Kevin, how are you, my friend? We were just talking about you. Your audio is great. Let me drop it to 500 milliwatts. Hold on a sec. Well, welcome. Appreciate it. We were just talking about your QRP nets there. Hopefully,
thanks.
No problem.
Kevin Ray Cyrus.
Party in the front and the back.
That is impressive, Kevin. Do you just grow that out, or is it just natural?
Yeah, I just got it today. Yeah, right. Actually, it's my George Thorogood because I did that ham on the bone.
Oh, I totally forgot about
the bone video.
Oh, I love that one. That was like, you got to produce more of those. I'm like dying like at this point. I'm like waiting for my Kevin Phil. As I was telling all the guys here, I have a little bit of a man crush on you, just like Carlos has for or Paul and Todd have for Carlos. So
well, maybe Carlos likes us back.
For 10 meters.
I love everybody, man. Who are you kidding?
Sorry about that. I had the live stream going and I was on the live stream at the same time. So I had like 50 voices blowing at me. And so I'm finally back to one. Okay, now I can hear everybody. Thank you.
Sorry. All right, cool. Well, yeah, as I was saying, I won't repeat then. I'm all good.
I was like, why is everybody talking at me at the same time? And it's because I had two live streams on the going and there was a delay. So sorry.
That'll do it. No, we didn't hear it, so you're good.
Thanks for the invite and thanks for having me on board. It's great.
No problem. Appreciate you coming on. We're glad to have you as a guest. And, even though we don't have an official, club status like Ham Radio Clubhouse, you're always part of the crew here. So, you're always welcome on anytime.
Yeah, you guys are looking good, too. Carlos in center square. That looks pretty good there, Carlos.
It's like Hollywood Squares, which is Hollywood.
Right.
So just so you know, I'm simulcasting on my side, and I made that comment for my side because you never know, you might get one guy that just says this is funny, I'm going to subscribe.
Yeah, well, Carlos is on, so it's going to be funny. It's guaranteed.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Well, hey,
Something's
you know,
guaranteed to happen with Carlos on, that's for sure.
yeah. Well, that's why we bring him on, right?
Yep.
You
Cool.
know, that's when the FCC shows up and goes, "Hey, wait a minute, hang on, we don't have to worry about the FCC on the YouTube." Ha ha ha! Yes.
We all self-police. What are you talking about? We're all good. Awesome. Well, okay. So, anybody else got any episodes they want to throw in? Because I've got a couple here on my list, but I don't want to dominate conversation here. You know, Paul, Ryan, Todd. You guys have any of other kind of? Well, let's do the opposite. Well, what was your biggest struggle episode-wise? For you.
Biggest
the first one?
Your very first one, not the first episode. Okay.
Yeah, my first one.
Yeah. Well, I think you did fine. I didn't have it. What was that first one? Do you remember? I can't even remember. I have to go back. You were on the show in May? No, December. So that would have been. Let me see. Let's go back through the list here.
Well, we were discussing POTA the first time I was on.
Oh,
it was
right.
Before I was actually brought on as a co-host.
Okay. So, you hopped on like a live stream or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, how do you think you did?
Well, I'm still here, so I must have done all right.
Bar so low, it's no problem.
I think one of the things I remember in the very beginning, like we were having all kinds of problems with technology, right? Like getting the audio right, getting everything done. So it was definitely I remember having one of our guests, KC1QDK. We had to do that one twice because we lost half the audio, and then it kept freezing, and it was a big mess. And so we were like, "Oh, we got to do it again." So
the good part was it got better by the second and third episodes.
Right. Right. Yeah, we're like, all right, we figured this out.
It was like a fine wine. It was crazy. It was like, oh my gosh, that was more content packed than it was before. Like what, that I think that episode was I'm not slow, I'm deliberate. Yes, that was the one. Our third. Yeah, that was a really good episode. Tim, if you guys don't know Tim and you go back and listen to that episode, he's on obviously the chat. But he's one of our best friends in the sense that you give him something and he will literally tear into it, nut, bolt, feature, whatever. Like, Ryan and I both, like, he was in the shop for looking for his next HF rig because he wanted to get something a little bit modern. Ryan gave him his ICOM 7300 Go kit, and he spent a month tearing into that thing, understanding it left and right. And I'm like, well, here's my DX10 for, a little bit of flavor and a change. And, little bit, announced, we won't mention which route he went, but, bottom line, he tore it. Like he knew more of that DX10 than I ever will I own it. That's how bad it is.
He also has a real big TikTok follower.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
Killing it on TikTok.
He what did he get over 1 million views?
The letter B.
I think it's
the letter B. He pounded out CWB on his straight key and like over 1 million views. Like,
crazy.
How do you do this? Crazy. Yeah.
Tim, put your in the chat. Put your TikTok.
Yeah.
Name.
It's because
you might not be able to.
B is the beginning of Beijing. B is for Beijing. That's why TikTok picked it up and promoted it. See,
and Baofeng and all of those other Chinese products that we don't support.
He just put on the chat 2 million views on letter B.
Letter B.
Are you kidding me? That's crazy.
Yeah, so head over to his TikTok. He's got his own website. You can check him out. He does some awesome stuff. He's one of those guys. Just you give him something and he'll learn it inside and out, and he does an awesome job at it. He amazes me every time. And you can go over to kc1qdk.com and check him out. Show him some love. Check him out on TikTok. I think he's got a YouTube channel too as well. But he definitely does an awesome job doing it. Yes.
Oh my god. I gotta watch that one. I gotta watch that one. Yeah, it's not right now. Give me 6 months.
Tim is someone that when he was a technician, he did everything you can possibly do as a technician. That I mean, things that he was saying he was doing, I didn't even know you could do that. Like even as a general, and he was just he did everything, and he'd come in and go, "Oh, I was doing this. I'm like, wow." So we had was that the episode that we had that he talked about what you can do as a technician?
Oh yeah. He totally went cover to cover on everything from soup to nuts.
on learning how to, do every aspect of ham radio as a technician. And, he did it with flying colors. It's crazy, and then he's like, oh, I'll just go get my general and, test it out as a general. And, now he's doing literally everything he possibly can, in general. And he's got a really cool thing going on now. He's trying to teach other guys, like you were learning Morse code practice and stuff. He's got a little project he's got going on called Code Buddies, where he meets on V-band with guys like once a week, and they just learn and practice, Morse code. It's really cool.
The question is, who's going to be an extra first, him or Todd?
Well,
the hammer's been thrown down.
All right, now we got some competition. Bring it on, QDK.
He is working on it, Todd, and we're helping you along. So I don't know what your excuse is. In fact, actually, let's get into testing right now. Just kidding.
I can get enough VEs on right now. Let's go.
we were actually.
Go ahead.
Totally. I was gonna say we were actually considering, becoming, Paul's already a VE. I was at the point of like, well, maybe I should just be a VE just so we can test them live on one of our next live streams or something. See, no pressure, Todd. So you got to pass or again or a second or third time or whatever.
I am very bad at taking tests. Like I never did well in school when it came to tests. I don't know what it was. I was so excited when I passed my technician, like I couldn't believe it. And then I'm like, I'm never going to get the general. And then of course I was with all these guys, and we were at what some ham.
Yeah, Ham Expo.
Ham Expo. And these guys dropped me off and said, all right, go get your general. We'll meet you out, outside at the, we'll meet you later. And I just come out and they were all done doing everything. And that was it. I got my general. We went to lunch and POTA time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Dragged you out and did a POTA. We didn't record it though. We should have.
No.
Wasn't on YouTube.
That was terrible. I'm surprised that Eric still talks to me.
Let me ask everybody. Okay, Carlos, Mike, Frank, Kevin, you chime in. When you guys all have done POTA at some level, like how bad was your first experience doing POTA? Was it like terrible? Like, did you get it down? Like, were you a pro, or was it just like, that's just going down in the history books?
Oh man. Like truly the first time I had an HT and I still managed to activate. I'm not joking.
I believe you.
You were
at what, 10,000 feet, right?
No. So I had a roll up J-pole and I put like a weight on a piece of 550 cord and I slung that thing above the tallest branch I could sling it on. And I got on a local repeater and I went, hey, I'm doing a POTA on this frequency. Come help me. And I got 10 contacts and that was it.
Yeah. Wow.
There you go.
Nice. That's impressive. I could barely squeak 2 out on a 5.2.
That's actually a good idea. Get on the repeater and an active repeater and say, hey, spread the word.
and really that's what I did. It was one of those, like, I know that the repeater contacts are not going to count, but there's no difference there than spotting.
Right.
Yeah,
hey,
true.
I'm on this frequency and I was on 5.2 and I said, I'm on here, help me activate. And it was a cold winter day and I still managed to get it done. So
very good.
Nice. Well, we've got a VHF, a professional here. Go ahead, Mike. I mean, you've done many activations on 5.2 and 220 and
Yeah, and I've done just what Carlos has done some of the times. When I'm going out, if I'm going to activate on 2 meters or whatever, play on the high bands, like I'll call out on a repeater. Even there's a couple parks near me where I can get up, about 2,000 feet or so, and some of them are sodas, some of them aren't. But I'll call out on the repeater real quick before I leave after playing on HF, and I'll say, hey, N2MAK, I'm at such and such a park. If you want to work me on 5.2, and try 2 meter simplex real quick, let's give it a shot, and get a couple 2 meter contacts that way or whatever. People, my experience has always been like local hams, and we do have an active VHF group out in Western New York and Southern Canada, but they're excited, they're happy when they hear simplex and stuff, whether it's on 5.2 or something else. So, we got the bands, use them.
Yeah, I've got one contact on 2 meters, and that's with Tim, KC1 QDK. Eric and I were up on a mountain and working this park, and then he got us on the HT and was say, hey, go to simplex. And we worked them. Do you remember that?
I do. Eric? Yeah, that was PAC. Wasn't it on the PAC?
Yeah, Pac-Man.
Yep.
So yeah, that's my when you go through all like bands work, they got the 1-2 meter one just sits there. So
I'll mention this too. Like one of the times I was doing a soda and I was walking down from the summit after I activated, and I realized, I should call out on 5.2 real quick. And I was out of the activation zone for a soda, but I was still within the park because it was both a soda and a POTA. And I just on my HT, I'm up about 1,500 feet, called out real quick. A ham came back. He told me I was his first QSO ever. He just got his tech like a week ago.
Dude, that's awesome.
All
That's
he
cool.
had been on was like a repeater, and he just had his HT like in his house 30 miles away on 5.2, and he heard he was like almost didn't know what to do. Like but
That is awesome, dude.
But it's great. And I got him again at a different location on 5.2, and I remembered his call sign just because it was such a unique contact, and we had like a nice little QSO real quick. But
Nice.
you never know. That's the thing. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we're talking about trying the high bands or different antennas, different setups. Like just give things a shot. F around and find out. Like
the next time I go up to Pac-Man, I'm bringing my HT. I'm bringing my Ed Fong antenna. I'm going to give it a shot.
That's great.
Good deal. How about you, Frank? Kevin?
I remember mine. It was we were out in a park with the camper, and I took my ICOM 7300 and 100 watts, and I spotted myself, and I had the biggest pileup I'd ever could imagine right immediately. And I'd never worked a pileup in my life. I was poor at logging or even hearing, trying to decipher call signs. And I had no idea what QRP even was. It was 100 watts or nothing out there. I didn't know I could turn my power down and get rid of. So some people couldn't hear me, but yeah, you'd have thought I was a DX station. And my wife's sitting there like, "How do you even hear what's going?" I says, "I don't know what I'm doing." It was my first experience, it was pretty painful for everybody out there trying to call me. I can tell because I couldn't get the call signs right. Ask for repeats but I recommend people now that for the first time out is start out with a little lower power, 5 watts, 10 watts, and just kind of start out slow and not get yourself into a huge pileup like I did, because it was pretty intimidating.
Easy to it. Good idea.
That's all right, Kevin. My first pileup, I got these guys texting me, "You're doing great, you're doing great," and I'm sitting there at this park bench, and I'm at this park, and I just got I got into the zone, and meanwhile, as I'm doing it, my phone keeps dinging, and it's all these guys texting me. "Yeah, we can hear you. Keep it going. Yeah, you got guys here." Right. I was like, "Oh my god!" But that was like the first time I got in the zone, and I worked that. It was huge. I mean, I got like close to
140 contacts. Yeah, almost to 200. Yes.
Wow.
And I was just like, I couldn't believe it. And it was my first night shift, like late shift, what do they call it back then? The night
yeah, they
shift
were late back then.
So it was I went out there to do the late shift. So I did it before, activated the park for a rail, and then I did the late shift. And man, it was crazy. And that was the start. I'm like, now this is my favorite thing. I like pileups. I like making all kinds of contacts. I like to look at that log and scroll down, and see all these people I've talked to. So that was my, that's what really that was the one activation that I think really pushed me through. And I said, POTA is definitely for me.
Is that
totally. Just hit me here in the neck. I'm good. Just go straight to my brain. That's all really matters. How about you, Frank? What was your first experience like?
Well, the first one's always free. Remember that. And mine was Carlos, to make you. First one's always free, Carlos.
My mom is watching.
I'm RJ.
First one was 11 and done. I was in, out, no problem. I had the antenna way too low for where I should have had it for 20 meters. But hey, I made the contacts. It was fun. It was fantastic. It was definitely a learning experience. The second time I went out, absolutely rocked it. I went from 11 to 61 and no problem.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's it. Once you get those double-digit numbers, you're done. Yep, you're done.
It just keeps going up and up from there. I think my latest is 228 contacts in one activation, but crossing
Nice.
2 UTC days. So
Okay, that's pretty decent. Nice. Yeah, I did my first kilo at one of my local parks, and it's now addictive. It's like you got to get your next kilo and your kilo after that, and your kilo after that, and
and for those of you that are not up to date on the vernacular of ham radio, like my mother, a kilo in this sense means 1,000 contacts.
That's
Mom.
that crosses over the border. Nothing comes over the border. There's nothing illegal.
Not anything illegal, I promise. Because I have like 4 kilos.
just jumping out of an airplane.
Oh, only 4 keys?
No,
I will go there.
So
Sorry,
as far
Marge.
as kilos go, as far as the kilos, that's actually a funny point. My local park, this last activation I had, which brought me almost up to a kilo, I had like hardly no contacts at my local park. I had more contacts at Kofa National Wildlife Refuge during Quartz Fest than I did at my local park. Over 5 activations on 3 days, I racked up 757 sideband contacts.
Woo! Wow.
Now I have that itch to go back down there, even though it's 115 there right now, I have that itch to go back down there and finish off the kilo.
Wow. Nice. Well, go for it, man. You got to do it.
Not during the summer heat. I want to, but not during the summer heat.
Oh, come on. No, was it no sweat, no glory? Come on.
Yeah, something like that.
Awesome. All right. Well, cool. So obviously, kind of diving back into the episodes, we did talk about POTA. The funny thing, one of our most popular episodes was POTA equals KISS. And I don't understand today why. I mean, if you go back and listen to that one, that was like our first episode we ever talked about POTA. And I don't mean POTA as in like I want to give you a kiss. That's keep it simple, stupid. We had talked about a lot of simplifying your kits, and because I think at that time we were diving into a bunch of different there were YouTubers like their Go kits were going so far like left, like they were becoming like these behemoths of like I've got everything including the kitchen sink, and it's like, dude, you're going out to do a POTA, like don't haul the trailer with you with the tower attached to it so you could make those contacts over in Europe because
no, listen, bring whatever you can bring.
Oh yeah, okay, fine.
If all you can bring is a backpack, bring a backpack, but if you can bring a trailer with a tower, do it.
With an amp, right?
I gotta agree with Carlos there, but my go-to is an FT710 and either an infed half wave that does 6 through 80 or the Poseidon vertical. That's my go-to with a 37 amp hour battery, and that's it. Nice and easy.
But so I have to caveat this. How long do you guys do your POTAs for? Like are they hours? They couple hours? Are they like 15? An hour? What does they kind of look like?
It depends. I mean, over this winter, I decided one day I was going to try to do a kilo in a day, and I got out there like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern, and I I didn't get it, but I still got like 500 and some odd contacts in an afternoon. I basically had to kill the activation. I had to pile up to beat the band, and I had to kill the activation because my wife was really mad that I was not home for dinner. I kept on getting the text messages going, when will you be here to eat? And I'm like, I'm leaving now, honey.
Yes, right. I won't be there fast enough. I'm sorry.
Last call. CQ quota. Last call.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's actually a pretty good idea. Like I never thought about maybe doing kilo in a day. I know T.O. has tried to do it a couple of times. A few others have done it. I never really thought about doing it myself. I mean, I don't know, it'd be interesting to try for sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Tomorrow then, dude. We're done. We'll go.
Let's go. The UTC day started like an hour, 54 minutes ago. Let's go.
Right? Come on. That's like at least 15 contacts every hour minimum, especially with the solar cycle. Yeah. Oh God, we're already down to daylight. They're done. It's all good here. Anyway, we're in the dark.
Outside of the kilo, one of the challenges you can try to do too, which is it's certainly doable, like within just a couple hours and stuff, but try to knock out 10 bands in a day
Dude,
at a park,
N1CC.
to help towards the N1CC and stuff. And, obviously you need propagation to cooperate and stuff on some of the higher ones and everything. But nonetheless, like, I've done that a couple times with certain antennas, and it's worked out well. So, but that's always a fun challenge too. Is like how many different bands or how many different modes can you work?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even think about it. I did it for a couple of parks and I didn't even know I did it, like kind of, thing. But at the same time, Carlos is flipping through his POTUS stats here at the moment. So I don't know let me know if you want me to bring that in so you can brag. But
I was wondering what it was he was looking at.
I'm like, that's POTUS stats. I know those very well.
I know that page.
Yeah, so totally. The M1CC is one of those goals that I definitely minus the fact that I'm still trying to get my worked all states. I mean, silly Alaska and Hawaii are the two that will ever elude me on the East Coast. I don't know what it is I'm going to have to do to get those.
You got to talk to Eric, man. You got to talk to Eric for Hawaii.
I've tried. He is just literally out of reach on the East Coast. I don't know what it is, and even Alaska. Like Todd said this so many times, and he's probably going to go into the story again. We could get guys in the middle of Alaska, but they're not at POTA Park.
They're not at a park.
POTA Park. I've got like 19 Alaska
North
contacts.
Pole, Alaska all the time. They're never at a park.
Never.
And then I get this park. So I'm in New York, my last activation, where I'm at a baseball tournament for my kid. I get up in the morning, I go to this park, and I get this park to park, and it's the Alaska guys. I'm like, sweet. Guy's like, yeah, we're not in Alaska. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you're killing me, Smalls. Like, really? You're like in Tennessee or something.
This is the way right here, man.
Yeah, good luck. That one's gonna be a struggle for me, but yeah, I'd say there probably will be. Digital might be the other one too.
I don't speak that language.
Yeah, it was
not on a POTA event. You don't.
I was like, that was going to make my whole weekend. I was so tired. I was so hot. It was a hot weekend. I'm like, this is going to make it all worth it. I'm going to have I'm going to have one more to go. And sure enough, the guy's like, yeah, but we're not in Alaska. I'm like, where are you? And he's like, Tennessee. I'm like, great.
Well, isn't Eric from Hawaii in the chat there? I mean, in essence, yeah. I hear he comes stateside a lot, and I've saw him pop up, and I'm like, I can hear him. This is not good. He must be stateside at this point, so I don't even bother trying to make contact. Sorry, Eric, but that's just the way it goes. I need Hawaii. Come on.
Here's what we need to do: is we need to get you an amp, we need to get Eric an amp, and there you go.
Yeah. Well, I need to hear him. That's the biggest thing. I don't care how much power I got. I need to hear him.
That's why I said he needs an amp. We need to get him an amp.
True. Yeah, true. Yeah.
I'm gonna mail him an amp. Here's 1,000 watts. Go nuts.
Here's 1,500 watts, buddy.
I don't care what you do with it. Just make a contact with me. That's all that matters.
and
just play loud.
I got Hawaii once, and it was Eric. I worked in park to park from a threefer, and it was nothing fancy. It was simply just 100 watts into the Wolf River coils, the 213-inch whip. Well, it was adjusted for 15 meters. We were on 15.
Yep. But and, what park were you in New York? Were you on like a mountainside?
No, I was in like it was a threefer on the Erie Canal, so it was right at Lock 32.
What? No.
So you got to be like right at this park bench or a couple parking spots that are close enough so that they're within 100 feet of a trail to make it a threefer. But yeah. It wasn't anything high up. It was, in the suburbs on the Erie Canal. Nothing fancy, but it comes down to like the propagation, and then the bands too. It was on 15. It wasn't on 20 or whatnot, and so 6 will be active this summer. Maybe you get lucky on 6 with him.
Well, I'm gonna be in North Carolina on the beach at the end of June. So I'm hoping like maybe I can go the other way around, being on the water. Maybe I can get him on the backside.
You lucky if you could.
Well,
I'll have to we'll have to do a relay at that point for my for my benefit.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric's pointing out in the chat that Kevin has no problem getting him at 100 milliwatts. So
ooh,
I don't think he can jam.
Yeah, that's one recording I'm not going to ever delete. I recorded that one on my phone. I don't think I'll ever delete that one because that was just perfect conditions, perfect time. I don't know how he heard me, but he did. So that was fun.
Kevin, everyone can hear you. You're the QRP master.
I think they hear my voice. I know Simon out in he doesn't always hear my call sign. He hears my voice, and he says, "I think that's Kevin out there." and then I'm able to.
Whatever
then
it
I'm
takes,
able to
man.
get through it.
Whatever it takes. You know?
Right.
You do learn the voices for the call signs that are regulars. That's for sure.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my man, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but there was, I think it was his name Jerry. It would tell you, God bless from Minnesota. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've worked that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a silent key now, but he's super. He was always super nice.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing an activation with Andrew, and I won't give out his call sign because I don't want to dox him terribly. But one day, Jerry would always call us, and Andrew one day said, at the end of his, he said, when Jerry said God bless, he said, "Hell, Satan," and I said, "Dude, that guy's this is sure contact every time. Why would you do that?" He goes, "Just because I want to have some fun."
Wow.
He still contacted us the next week. It was awesome. Like it never even faced him.
We lost Eric. Where'd he go?
Get an amp.
He's wondering if he can reach Kevin now with milliwatts.
Oh, too much.
Oh, I'll say this. One of the you were talking about some of your favorite episodes. One of the episodes that stood up for me, a listener, and it was one of the first couple ones I listened to, and I didn't know you at the time, but I wonder if it was Todd talking through much of what you got stuck on that logging road. Does that sound familiar?
Oh,
was it?
Yeah.
Or is it one of the guests was talking about?
Yeah, it was one of the guests that
That's right,
he used. Right, he got hurt, and then he climbed the mountain and he hit the repeater. They were in the they hit the repeater.
Got stuck, and they were able to hit the repeater just barely on like the input, and were able to call for help.
Yeah, but the repeater wasn't functional. It was just that somebody was listening on the input in Vermont and was able to hear
on the tones. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
It was a fantastic story. I just it was one of the early ones I remember listening to. I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those guys. We have a show on our local news station called Chronicle, and they had a story about they had them on Chronicle and about all the stuff, and that's where Eric reached out to him and was like, hey, I gotta talk to we should get these guys on, and then they actually told us. Like we had them on for a while. They told us like the whole story and what really happened. Like Chronicle was like, it was all blended together, and they made it sound like, oh, these guys got hurt. He went up there, made the call, but they were super prepared because at least in New Hampshire, if you go hiking or you go on a road that you're not supposed to be on, and you get stuck, they send you a bill. Like, oh, that took us a helicopter, and here's 10 grand you owe us. But these guys were so prepared, and it just was a fluke accident, and he was able to get the help because up in the North Country, we don't have any cell service, or at least we didn't back then, and I'm sure we still don't now. I mean, crap, I don't even have cell service in my town. And
I don't have cell service in my house.
I know. And we're what, 40 miles from Boston? It's like ridiculous.
Paul, you need to take the tin roof off, man.
Oh, I wish. No, for whatever reason, my neighborhood just kind of sits in a hole. And so even though I've got Nashua, which is a major metropolitan city, and it's literally 5 minutes from me.
I wouldn't call it
out of New Hampshire, I mean, we've got town. Yeah, Manchester, Concord, Nashua, like that's what we've got. Right. So, but for whatever reason, it just eats signals.
Welcome back, Eric. Welcome back.
Yeah,
welcome back.
Carlos told me to go to Discord, and I went to Discord and it blue screened.
It's my fault.
Like you ever get to those moments, like you're not supposed to touch the button, but your body goes, "Idiot, don't touch the button," and you still go, "I'm going to touch it anyway because it's important." Carlos is telling me something. I need to know. Exactly right. Yeah. So yeah, my apologies for jumping off. We're all back. Go.
Yeah, my grandfather had a fridge like that where if you grab the handle just right, it would zap you. And the thing to do was like I knew where it was at and where it wouldn't zap you, and I would open up the fridge, no problem. My cousins wouldn't, so didn't know where they was at. So I would go get that.
Oh yeah. We some of those stories, man. I know very fondly how to avoid stuff like that, but still get zapped. All right. Well, so you guys were talking about obviously the Chronicle thing. That was an interesting episode. I think one of my favorite ones because like I didn't know what to expect, and then when they kind of went in, like you mentioned, the detail of really what happened, I was just totally blown away. Going, yeah, well, that's typical media. They always cut it short to fill a 3-minute filler for whatever. And so yeah, I'm glad they got a chance to get on there and really tell their true story. So it was good on them, and we're glad we could help them out there. But all right, well, so we're getting here at the top of the hour, but I appreciate all you guys hanging out and just reminiscing with us. So guys, let's talk a little bit about what's kind of coming forward. I mean, obviously, Todd, you've been working on plugging a few things. I don't know if you want to mention some of our future endeavors that we're working towards there or brainstorming on, or
So we talked about 24-hour POTA activation at a park. And the park that we were going to do it at, it's not open this summer or this year.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So this park,
like a new park.
So this park is where we do.
Oh, what a novel idea!
But this park is where we do. We have a float fly for my flying club, and for 25 years, we fly at this park. We rent the park. They open the park for us for our flying club, and they activate that weekend. They let campers come in because they get all these same campers come and watch us fly off the water and stuff. So I was going to call the guy up, and I taught him how to, I let him go up and fly in a while. So he kind of knows me, and they're like, yep, it's closed. They're running new electrical lines. So the whole park for the next year is closed. We can't do our float fly, and I'm sure we weren't going to be able to do the POTA either. So,
nope.
And that was
KC1QDK says Pickle Park in downtown.
Will they like camping happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that in Manchester metropolitan area? And we're just gonna all be like, setting up tents here. No problem. You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm not doing it in Manchester.
Come on, man. Where's the fun with that?
So
I'm sure that all the non-local people don't know what Pickle Park is, but it's Stark Park in Manchester, for the record.
Yeah, it's a sketch park for sure.
Well, I mean, I couldn't gather what it meant by the name.
Yeah.
Would you like to see my pickle? Anyway.
So that's
California.
We're really going to try to do that. And then I know Eric and I, or at least I want to do it. I'm not sure if Eric, and anyone else who wants to come out, I want to do another East Coast Rove on the coast and try to get to 10. We got 7. We would have had 8, but I think we could get 10. And there's a ton of parks that we didn't even hit that we could have hit. So I think with a little bit more planning. So probably in the fall we'll pull that one off again and try that.
Like as Mike alluded to, New England is like a plethora of parks where like in Texas and the Midwest you have to drive like 2 hours to get to something. Like we literally can drive 20 minutes less, and we're at like 4 parks within the area. So up the coast, which is a beautiful run, Route 1, there's literally 14 parks that you can do from Massachusetts to Maine. And
our coastline is only 13 miles.
Yeah, so it's short. So
within
the parks
15 miles, we've got enough parks to do it.
So Carlos, if you're bored and you want to do something maybe early fall, it's New Hampshire. You don't have to come into Mass. We know how you have an issue with Mass, so it's all good there.
It's not that I have an issue with Mass. It's that Mass has an issue with me.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So until those can be amended, well, you're more than welcome in the state of New Hampshire. You could go do POTA parks with us, and I'm sure there's a bunch of there's Rye Airport.
I
you can jump from there.
I could do the Northeast tour, go visit Mike, go visit you guys,
Yeah.
go visit Izzo, go to W1,
Yeah, but when you get into New York and Connecticut, it's like those Mass people. They don't like you.
Well,
but Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine, you can go back and forth, no problem. No one cares.
Yeah, well, Carlos is lucky; he can walk to the nearest Pota. But I'm the same way. I can literally walk down the street if I wanted to from my park, but not the greatest of parks. But yeah, so we're definitely going to be doing the 24-hour Pota. That's coming up for sure. I think we're going to obviously be over at Hamex again. As you saw in the video trailer at the beginning, that was our first time at Hamex. We'll be there this year and having a blast there. So I'm assuming we'll see a bunch of you guys maybe there. And what's the other thing? I think I won't allude to it, but there's a big another camping adventure at a certain said 0001 park that's coming up. Trying to work all those details out, and hopefully we can. Oh, there we go. There's a nice mix. We can get a bunch of you guys out there to activate Arcadia. That would be a wonderful park to get on the books there for sure. So. Yeah, so I have to say, outside of that, any last kind of follow up you guys want to throw it at? We'll throw it obviously to the hosts there. Any of you guys want to add your 2 cents in there, or anything you want to that I might have missed?
Well, I just want to thank you guys that came on tonight. Thank you, those that have followed our podcast. Much appreciated. We didn't know what was going to happen with this. We didn't know if we were just throwing this out there. Maybe one person, probably was going to be Tim watching us, but. We've been thrilled, right? Like Tim's our number one fan. He's got
yep.
AC1 QDK. But anyway, but yeah, it's just been great. It's been more than what we even could expect, and we're having a lot of fun doing it. And as long as people keep wanting it, and we're gonna keep doing it, So thank you, and thanks for joining us tonight. Those that are on, it's much appreciated.
Yep, Ryan, Paul, and you guys chime in.
Yeah. Looking forward to field day.
Yeah, me too.
bring the extra battery.
We've no problem there, man.
Oh yeah.
You're talking, and this is Mr. Buy Once, Cry Once. He has several batteries and many chargers and solar, and he's got backups to his backups. He's good.
I have my one battery, and then I'll have Todd's.
Yes, he'll be good. N plus one.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to field day as well, but just to kind of echo some of what Todd said, it's crazy to think that I've been a member of this podcast now for 6 months, and it's half the life of the podcast, but it's crazy to think of how fast time goes. And I appreciate you guys bringing me on. I've had a ton of fun doing this. I watch my language a lot more on this podcast than any other time.
It's all right.
Yeah,
we're not see him yet, so you're fine.
But no, I appreciate everybody's support, and all the subscribers to my personal channel as well. And yeah, thank you. It's just been a ton of fun.
Cool. Well, I'm with you on the well. Mike, Carlos, Frank, Kevin, and you guys want to chime in with anything? I mean, obviously you don't have to, but feel free. Give you the floor.
Congratulations on the huge year. Yeah, that it's fantastic, and here's to many more.
Cool. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll second
definitely.
that.
Congrats.
Yep. Well, thank you guys.
I enjoy listening on. I usually drive a lot in the morning, so I usually listen to you guys while I'm driving. So it's good entertainment for me. So congratulations, also. Good job. Good content.
Appreciate it. We're not a lawn mowing podcast like Ham Radio Workbenches, but we're pretty good. We're within the hour. I think we'll do fine. Cool. All right. Well, with that, I basically, agree with all the other points. We've had a year, and we're looking forward to the next several years, and we'll see how long this ride goes for. I love hanging out with these guys, and getting to meet new people, obviously like Carlos and Mike and Kevin and Frank, and we'll be doing a lot more with you guys, I'm sure, in the future. And it's always a blast to hang out with people that just aren't in your local area, but share the same passions you do in the hobby. So I appreciate you guys a lot there, and obviously everybody in the chat. I mean, there's a lot of new names in there I saw there tonight. So thank you guys for being part of our community here, and we appreciate you, and everything that you do to watch and listen to us, and hopefully you'll continue to do that going forward. So, as always, just to kind of wrap things up here, like I said, you can find us several ways. You can connect and head over to our shop at livefreeandham.com/shop. Pick up some of our merch if you haven't already. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. And if you are a texting person, we actually have a link now in our show notes where you can actually send a quick review via text message. So if you love our show and you want to, get featured and shared in our next episode, feel free to go ahead and hit that link and send us a text message, and we'll make sure we read it in the next show. And as always, you can always pick us up at Patreon, or support our show, I should say, through Patreon and buy us beer links. And those are all located both in our show notes and the website. And if you want to reach any of our hosts, you can always head over and all our contact info is over at livefreeandham.com and and those guys up north as well.com. And as always, guys, I appreciate everybody here, and thanks you guys for coming and hang out with us as always. And thanks for watching Live Free and Ham, and 7-3.
7-3 put on.
7-3. 7-3.
7-2.
Yeah, run it.